Hello and welcome. Today, we're diving into, well, probably the biggest mystery there is. What happens after we die? We're going to explore a really detailed spiritual perspective on this, looking at the entire journey from those first confusing moments right up to the ultimate life review. So, let's get started. This is the question that's pretty much the starting point for all philosophy and religion, isn't it? Our source material puts it front and center. We all go through this. We're born, we get older, we get sick, and eventually we die. The question that just hangs in the air is why? And this brings us to a really important split. On one hand, you have science and medicine. They are absolutely brilliant at explaining how we die, right down to the nitty-gritty mechanics of the body. But what they often can't answer is why we die. What's the meaning of it all? And that's where spirituality comes in. It's not looking at the body, it's asking about the journey of the soul. This quote from our source really nails that distinction. It draws a line in the sand. It says, look, there's a point where a doctor's job ends and a different kind of understanding has to take over. Some questions just can't be answered with a scalpel or an MRI. So let's start that journey. From this spiritual viewpoint, what happens in those first few moments right after death? Well, it all begins with a whole lot of confusion. Just try to imagine how disorienting that would be. You feel totally alive, totally conscious, but you're suddenly disconnected from the world you know. Your family is right there, maybe they're crying, but you can't reach them, you can't comfort them. You're basically a ghost in your own life, totally unseen and unheard. And the source really focuses on how painful our attachments can be in this moment. Think about it. Everything we build our lives around, our job, our house, our loved ones, it's all still there, but suddenly you can't interact with any of it. It creates this profound sense of being totally alone and helpless. This confusion seems to happen in a few stages. First, there's just pure disbelief. This is a dream, it's not really happening. That turns into frustration, even anger, when no one seems to hear you. But then something amazing happens. Help shows up. Maybe it's relatives who've already passed on, or spiritual guides. And get this, sometimes these guides take on familiar shapes, like a doctor or a nurse, just to gently break the news in a way we can understand. And it's through them that the soul finally gets it. Oh, I've died. Okay, so once the soul has accepted this new reality, it moves on to what might be the most important part of this whole journey, the life reveal. The source calls the mechanism for this the Shoma no Kagami, which basically means the mirror that reveals karma. The best way to think about it is like the ultimate movie of your life, played back on a spiritual screen, with you as the only person in the audience. The amount of detail here is just staggering. This isn't a highlight reel, not even close. It's everything. I mean, every single action, but also every single thought, every hidden intention, every feeling you never told anyone about. Nothing is left out. You watch it all with your guides, and the whole point isn't punishment. It's about self-realization, seeing your life for what it truly was. And just to be super clear about it, the source insists the recording is 100% complete. Think about that for a second. Every single moment captured. There are no deleted scenes, no director's cut. It's the raw, unfiltered footage. So who's the filmmaker behind this epic documentary? Well, according to this perspective, that's the job of your guardian spirit. They've been with you the whole time, not as a judge, but as a completely impartial recorder. They were the cinematographer of your life's movie. And here is the absolute kicker. The life review is so clear, so completely honest, that the soul becomes its own judge. There's no one wagging a finger at you. You see the cause and effect of your own life so plainly that you just understand the consequences. You accept where you have to go next because you finally see the whole truth. It's a powerful idea, right? That at the end of the day, your own conscience is the only judge that matters. So, after this deeply personal review, what's next? Well, this perspective zooms out to a much bigger picture. It suggests that death isn't some final destination, but just one part of a much larger, continuous cycle. To explain this, the source gives us a really beautiful metaphor. Think of a single human life as just one leaf on a giant tree. It really helps put our individual existence into a much, much bigger context. Let's follow this analogy. In the spring, we're born like a fresh new leaf. All summer long, we live our lives, we work, and we contribute our energy to the whole tree. Then, in the fall, our work is done. We die and fall away. But it's not the end. In the winter, our essence breaks down and becomes food for the tree, providing the nutrients for new leaves, new life, to grow next spring. It's a perfect cycle of purpose, release, and then renewal. And this quote really spells out the logic behind that cycle. From this point of view, death isn't a tragedy. It's actually necessary. It makes room for new people, new perspectives, new experiences. Without it, the world would just stagnate. Life needs to constantly refresh itself. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about the nature of death itself. The big takeaway here is that no matter who you are or what you've done, death is seen as the ultimate impartial force. I mean, talk about a stark but powerful truth. When a baby is born, this is the one and only prediction that has a 100% chance of coming true. It's the one certainty we all share, no exceptions. And because it comes for absolutely everyone, it has this incredible power to strip away all the labels we cling to in life. Your power, your wealth, your status, how you look. In the moment of death, according to this view, all of it just becomes totally and completely meaningless. This quote just hammers that point home. It doesn't get much clearer than that. Death is the great equalizer. In that final moment, you're not a president or a painter, you're not rich or poor, you are simply a soul, left with nothing but the story of the life you lived. So, what does this all mean for us, right here, right now? The message is pretty clear. If our life is the one thing that gets recorded, the one movie that will be reviewed, then this is not a practice run. This is it. This is the final take. And this really gets to the heart of it. You might believe in reincarnation, you might not. But from this perspective, the life you are living right now, this is the one that's being recorded. This is the one that matters. And so, we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If your guardian spirit is the cinematographer of your life, filming not just every action, but every single intention, what kind of movie are you making? What story is your life actually telling?